If you see anyone reviewing Star Wars The Mandalorian on Disney Plus and they're giving it higher than a 7, they quite obviously were not paying attention. Stay tuned to find out why. Okay, let's start with a simple one later in the episode. When the Mandalorian is up on the cliff, he takes his fancy little telescope and he puts it up to his eye. As you can see, he has it up to his left eye with his head turned. Then, the next time that they cut to him, he puts it up to his Cyclops eye. He puts it up to the T shape on his face, right in the middle, like he's some kind of Cyclops. So unless they have some weird Mandalorian that has turned into a Cyclops and has an eye in the middle of his face, I don't know exactly what's going on here. He even readjusted slightly, and then they cut away, and when they cut back, it was magically, back in the right spot. So they had no idea what they were doing. I don't know if this was a first day problem of them filming or what the issue was, but it was very blatantly bugging me. It was very bad. Very, very bad. It was getting to me, and I had to say something about it, even though it was one little problem because it's just an editing error. You don't need to show this scene. This is only like 3 seconds. You could have moved on from it. You could have just cut from this one and skipped that one and went right to that, and it would have been fine. It would have been perfectly fine. But you had to show it for some unknown reason. Must be some of that Disney magic. Now, on to number 2, which I'm sure is a scene that everybody thinks is a cool fucking scene, and I'm here to tell you, it isn't that fucking cool. In fact, it's really fucking stupid. It's real effing stupid. So let's break it down a little bit. So he gets into a fight, he makes one guy stab himself in the ass, Squidface decides that he has to run away like a little fucking pussy. He grabs him by the leg and knocks him down and starts dragging him back in, and Squidface takes a shot at him, at his Mandalorian armor shoulder, and it still deflects off. So why later in the episode does he have to get that fancy fucking shoulder pad if this shoulder pad works just fucking fine? It makes no goddamn sense. Anyway, he starts dragging the guy back in and takes a pot shot at that box right there. And as you can see, the door starts to close up on Squidface right here instantly. So I thought to myself, oh, well, that means that he must have, engaged the box, because we can tell, after it dissipates, the lights are still on the box, and the door's closing, so the box must still be working. He must have engaged the box somehow, because it's just a 3-way switch. There's a button inside, there's a button outside. That's how you open the door, because every door that works like this, the fail-safe would be open, or else every person that comes in, you would, be chopping babies' heads off accidentally. If, you shoot the little box right here, and then here's a zoom in just to make sure that you can see that all of the lights are still on. They're all still on. Every single light is still on, because the speed of light. Oh, and now they're off. So, apparently, the speed of light doesn't move as fast as the hydraulic pistons in the door, even though it shouldn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. When there's no power going from the switch to the door would either stay open or stay closed. It wouldn't be engaged to close, Why is there a spring in the door that closes the door? That doesn't make any damn sense. It's a hydraulic door. It pinches him closed. If it was just a spring, it would stop when it got to his body, but it squishes him into two pieces and lets all of his ink out. That isn't how electronic doors work. Imagine walking into Walmart and the door fails and you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. We chopped your baby's head off because our door failed." Yeah, that's not how it works when you kill the power to something. When you kill the power, the door either stays open or it stays closed. It doesn't make any movement. Sorry, everybody. This scene is fucking stupid. That is how you know it has that Lucasfilm made by Disney magic. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the scene with the most extensive and voluminous of major Mandalorian mistakes. I realize that when you are shooting a live-action show, there are certain things that you have to take into account while you are shooting. You're the professionals. You have to know what's going on in your show. You have to see what is physically happening in the show and account for the things that are going on. So, with that in mind, let's move forward. I took this screenshot. So, taking this into account, let's go with the main structure at the back. I put the letter B. We'll call this the back of the structure. So, when you're at the back of the structure, the right side of the screen is the left side buildings, and the left side of the screen are the right side buildings. Therefore, at the moment, when you're at the back of the structure, all of the shadows are being cast from the left buildings to the right. You can see all of the shadows from the buildings that are by the letter R, all of the ones in the courtyard, all of the shadows are being cast from left to right. And then, literally moments later, when IG-88, or 88, oh, see, I don't even know his numbers because nobody cares about this droid. IG-11, oh, whoop-de-doo. When he invades and starts popping off on people, the shadows are reflecting from the right side of the courtyard to the left. So what happened? What happened? They were just going from left to right. As you can see on screen, that's why I wrote the L and the R. Shadows going from left to right. And now we're looking out from the back, over the well in the center, and the shadows are going from right to left. 10 seconds ago, they're going from left to right. Now they're going from right to left. So apparently the sun moved hours in the sky over the course of minutes. But you wonder why these red lines are on the screen. Well, they're pointing to these two dead guys that are laying on the ground. Which, in and of itself, not a big deal. But I just want to make a point that the shadow that is next to them is literally touching both of them. It's touching one guy's leg, it's touching one guy's arm. And in the next cut, there's no shadow there. They go from touching shadows to no shadow at all. What exactly are you guys doing? One time the shadow's going one way, one time it's going the other. Like, we're going to shoot all these scenes in the morning, we're going to shoot all these scenes in the evening, and we're just going to mash them together, and you got to think that it's going to be real. Like, you got to buy into the realism, even though we can tell that these obviously aren't happening at the same time. They're supposed to be, happens moments apart. The shadow isn't there, completely gone. But let's move forward. The Mandalorian and IG-11 hook up because they're both bounty hunters. They're in the guild. They're in the guild together. We're bounty hunter brothers. We're not supposed to shoot each other. You fucking droid. Why the fuck did you shoot me, you son of a bitch? Oh, okay, so now we're gonna work together. We're gonna split the bounty. So, let's just make a note of, on the opposite side of the courtyard, there are 3 barrels above this black slit in the wall. This is going to come into play unbelievable amount of time over the next, I don't know. It seems like it's 60 seconds, it might be 2 minutes, it might be 3 minutes. It is less than 5 minutes. This is right at the end of the show. But remember, these 3 barrels that are sitting right there in front of this, I don't know if it's like some desert window. It's some weird fucking thing. I don't know what they call it. It's strange. So then they make their move for it, and oh my god. I just noticed this now. He's getting shot in the head by whoever this guy is behind the barrel behind him. That's hilarious. It's a good thing he's got that Mandalorian medal. I don't know what they call it in Star Wars. I guess I wasn't listening close enough. Whoopsie. Anyway, they make their move. Him and IG-11. They're gonna make their move to the end of the courtyard so they can break in and they can get the package. So we need the package so that we can get paid. So I can get myself another brick of metal, because I need to get my other shoulder pad, you motherfuckers. They make their move. And they're working their way across. And as if by some magic fucking property, now the shadows are going inward. Now they're going into the courtyard. They're not even going sideways anymore. But now there's only 2 barrels there. There was just 3 fucking barrels. Now there's only 2? Where did the 3rd barrel go? Here's the side by side. Side by side. Here's 2 barrels. There was 3 barrels. I didn't want to have to scroll back through all the other pictures, so I just figured I'd throw a side by side in there. 2 barrels right there. 2 barrels. And there was 3 before. This is literally seconds. Literally seconds have passed. And there's, Disney magic at work again at Lucasfilm, making barrels disappear into thin air. I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all. But make a note of this guy laying next to the barrel. Make a note of him. It's very important, because they make it behind the pillars. They're trying to hack in. They're trying to hack in. They're trying to hack in. It don't work. They're getting shot at. They're getting shot at. And they're like, well, we got to make a motion. We got to make a distraction. Do something. Okay? Make a note of this notch and these boxes down here. It's very important. This notch and these boxes are very important for what wall they're on. They're in front of that alleyway. Okay? So, IG-11's like, okay, I won't self-destruct on you. I'm not gonna do it. I will do your distraction. I will draw their fire. And you will get the package for the guild. We're gonna do it for the guild. We'll do it for the guild. So, he makes his move. You see a couple shots in the wall, and you see him run past that notch. Remember that notch? The one we just talked about? He runs past the notch in the wall. He gets hit. He goes, there's the 2 barrels. Remember the 2 barrels? Where the dead guy's laying? And he gets knocked down. There's no fucking dead guy. Where did the dead guy go? Remember the dead guy? He's right there. There's no dead guy. IG-11 gets hit and gets knocked down by the 2 barrels where the Disney magic got rid of the 3rd. Like there was a 3rd barrel there. You got rid of the 3rd barrel. And then IG-11 comes around and there used to be a dead body there. You got rid of the dead body now because you didn't want whoever is playing this droid. I assume it's some type of motion capture. I don't know what's going on. If it's CG, then it's real fucking dumb. Like, if it's CG, why did you get rid of the body? There was a body there. What did you do this for? It makes no sense at all. Why are you doing that? Oh, man. But yeah, 2 barrels. 2 barrels. But distraction works. And the Mandalorian takes his grappling hook from his wrist and he fires it at the Gatling gun. And he yanks on that son of a bitch, and it pushes him back. And then he pulls the gun towards him. And he takes, I don't know, like 3 steps, maybe 4. And he jumps on this Gatling gun and does a full 360 all the way around and kills everybody who's left in the courtyard. Every single person who is left in the courtyard. And I'm sorry, but I forgot to mention this earlier. I should have written out a script for this, but I was a little upset and I didn't want to get stuck up in the malaise, so I didn't write a script. I'm going on a little bit of emotion. You know, there's a little analytics going on at the moment, but he's killed everyone in the courtyard. There was 4 dead guys earlier. 4 dead guys that were close to the well. That guy, that guy, that guy, and that guy. Those were the 4 dead guys before he ever got this Gatling gun, before he pulled it towards him with his fancy frickin' Batman grappling hook. Which means that guy was the gunner. Which means he pulled the gun from way the hell over there. He pulled it from way over there over the course of about, I don't know, 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds. So he pulled it with enough force that it slid all the way over in the perfect position that he could hop onto it. But when he hopped onto it, like he ran towards it, taken 3 or 4 steps and then jumped onto it, but it didn't slide at all. It only spun. Even though the guy who was operating it earlier was standing on the ground. Like, when he was operating it, he was standing on the ground. When the Mandalorian operated it, he was standing on it. So how does it know what to do? It shouldn't know. It should have been sliding all over the place. It should have been some hoverboard Gatling gun just skeeting all over the place. It didn't make any sense. But there was one other thing that was bothering me about this. One other thing about this scene right at the end that was bothering me. Like, I didn't think that it could get any worse. I didn't think it could get any worse. But guess what? It does. It gets worse. It definitely gets worse. You remember IG-11? You remember the dead guy next to the 2 barrels? And then we put IG-11 next to the 2 barrels and we get rid of the dead guy? Like, we're making changes on the fly over the seconds that pass, even though we know where people are supposed to be down, and then boom, IG-11 is magically fucking moved. Magically, the Disney magic has struck again, and he didn't even make it. You know, if you look real close, he didn't even make it over to, oh wait, what is that? I counted it's 1, 2, 3 barrels. We're back to 3 effing barrels again. It was 2 barrels, now we're back to 3 barrels, and we've moved the droid. He didn't even run past that alleyway. He didn't even run past the notch. Remember that notch in the wall? That is the notch in the wall right there. He didn't even make it past the notch. That is that black slit, that window, the desert window, with 3 barrels in it. How many mistakes can you make in one small scene? Like, it's mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. It's unbelievable. It's like they fried up an entire cow of steak. Holy shit. Like, come on, Dave. Come on, John. What are you guys doing? Like, the first mistake could have been just an editing one. You're like, okay, yeah, cut that middle one, and they didn't cut it. But these ones, like, who is on set there making these frickin' mistakes? Because that is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Going forward, if you continue to make physical plot holes like this, like, these can't be explained away. He didn't magically teleport. Like, they don't have Beam Me Up Scotty in Star Wars. That's Star Trek. That's a CBS thing. That's not Disney. Stop using your Disney magic to try and make a story look a way you want it to look. How about you just have it look the way it's supposed to look? It's not that hard. There were plenty of things in the episode that did look correct, but this looked effing terrible. So, I guess we'll see what happens in the next episode of The Mandalorian and his massive mistakes. So let me know, everybody, what you think about all of these terrible mistakes that Disney and Lucasfilm have made, obviously. And if you can explain them away, you tell me down in the comment section what I'm doing wrong and what I see wrong with these. So until next time, everybody, I have spoken. If you are enjoying the content, please hit subscribe and ding the bell for notifications. That way you will never miss an upload by Pop Culture PB.